The views and opinions expressed during the Barefoot United radio show are those of the host and not that of MP Media Group, sponsors, or the broadcast affiliates. Welcome to Barefoot United Radio, where you will learn the benefits and your rights to live a barefoot lifestyle. And now, here to empower you and dispel the myths of going barefoot, are full-time members of the Barefoot community and victim legal advocates, your hosts, Sophie Prince and Nick Pierce. And welcome to the weekly broadcast of Barefoot United, where we empower you to live the barefoot lifestyle. Now, many of you have different reasons for going barefoot. For some of you, it may be for religious reasons, some of you for cultural or religious reasons, some of you for safety reasons. Even though our reasons are different, there are people out there that think that there are laws, policies, rules, regulations, or even dangers about being barefoot in public. Whatever your reasons, call in. Share your stories, experiences, whatever issues you may have had. If you want to be a part of the show today, the call-in number is 513-815-6336 to be on the air. You can also check us out in our chat room during the show. Just go to barefootunited.org, click on the podcast link, and chat with us directly in the studio. Also, head over to the official home of Barefoot United Radio on Facebook. Go to Barefoot United Radio right there on Facebook. You can also send us your messages there. See exclusive content, and also check out our website, barefootunited.org is the home. Also, the public Facebook page and the Facebook group. You're catching on now, right? Barefoot United. We're all over the place. You can interact with other members of the Barefoot community during and after the broadcast, and there's also Instagram too, and Twitter and all that. So if you live a barefoot lifestyle, or are interested in living a barefoot lifestyle, just join our closed group. If you haven't joined already, again, just go to Facebook, Barefoot United. Now, keep in mind, though, folks, this is not a fetish community. So for all you heavy-breathing fun seekers out there, this is not the place to get your rocks off on foot pictures. No, no, no. See, we are here to educate and empower you and spread the message that bare feet are legal, safe, should be accepted, and help you stand up for the rights if you choose to live the barefoot lifestyle. For those of you that may not know, I'm just one of your hosts, Nick Pierce. I got rid of the last pair of anything that goes on my feet over 20 years ago. Got rid of been barefoot over 20 years, got rid of the last pair of anything over 15 years ago. I'm a victim legal advocate standing up for the human rights that we as the barefoot community have for over 10 years now. And another victim legal advocate standing up for the barefoot community, your dear host. Just one of them, next to me. I'm next to her. Sophie Prince, happy Friday. Welcome to the program.
Happy Friday.
And here we are again.
Yes.
So,
another exciting, great episode.
Yep. And we got a lot of great content for you. Let's see. So we're at episode 5, I believe. 5 weeks so far on our new platform. Yeah. And we're coming into the holiday shopping season. So
yes, we are.
Yeah. Last week we were talking about travel. Got some interesting messages about that. We'll answer some of your questions later on the broadcast. And as far as holiday shopping, not only are we maybe traveling to a lot of different places throughout Thanksgiving, but while we're doing our shopping, we may be exploring different stores that we normally don't shop in. And we want to talk about maybe just not just what we normally talk about when it comes to overcoming issues, but this is really a big make it or break it season for a lot of retailers. They are either the numbers go up, or their numbers stay even, or they do not meet the goals or the projections that they had, in which case then they have a problem next year. And there's also a lot of retailers that are closing down after the first of the year, 2020, that a lot of them that are projected to close or plan on closing after the season. And some, like last year, closed in the middle of the season. I don't know if you remember some of those, like Elder Beerman's in certain areas and certain stores like that. In the middle of the busy holiday season, they just thought they weren't making their numbers, and they just shut down. So what is the problem that these people have against the barefoot community? Doesn't matter anymore. Those people are looking for new jobs. Hopefully you don't send their bad behavior to the new employer. So anyway, here we are. That's just in a nutshell the main topic. And of course we have a great What's the Problem? We have Shoes in the News, Sophie's Soul Searching, and let's see, what else do we have? We're putting links in the chat room to everything that I just rambled off in the beginning of the show. Don't worry, it'll be there if you missed anything. And also, we didn't do a How We Handle Them last week. We never got around to that, so we have that ready to go for you because we don't want you to skip a beat. And here we are. So I don't know. I don't know if anybody really has their Christmas lists submitted to them from everybody in the family yet or not. Even my little ones, well, not my little ones, my niece and nephews, they're getting a lot bigger now. Do have, I still call them my kids though, haven't issued me the Christmas list though. What they want for Christmas. Not yet. I'm surprised. Wow. I don't know.
It's only a month away.
I know. Normally I have that like in the middle of the fireworks on the 4th, or at least, the following day.
My rule is I need your list right after Halloween.
Oh. That's a good rule. It gives you plenty of time.
It does. I always like to be done shopping.
Mm.
And I don't like to be pressured either. I like to actually get good bargains. I like to get things that are really super neat.
Oh, me too.
There's nothing in the world I like better than finding, a good bargain and a really unique, cool item. And I'm not one of those people that just gets something different for everybody on my list. Usually, if I find a super good deal on something that's really neat and useful and everybody would like, I'll buy 15 of them. Yeah. Wow. I will, seriously. Everybody laughs because every year for Christmas, everybody always gets the same thing from me. It's like one year there were these really cool battery-operated lanterns that had an alarm clock on it, and it had a radio.
Mm.
And they were so neat. I found them. They were, what were they? Regularly $20. Okay. And I found them, a whole bunch of them for $5.
Wow.
I know. So I snatched, I did. I bought like 15, 20 of them.
Nice.
I said, well, you can't beat this. And it was a name brand. It was one of my favorite brands.
That's awesome. One year for Christmas, I got I got such a great deal on some of the, almost similar to what you're talking about. There were flashlight crank radios, cell phone chargers, the crank radio things, and everything. This is when I was first doing purchasing for the store that I opened up this year. I'll plug it. Zombie Outpost. Okay, it's out of the way. So I had a bunch of these. And I knew that the new models would be coming out the following year, but I still was sitting on inventory of them. So I'm like, when they come camping, when the kids come camping, it's nice because instead of people being hovered around the main picnic table where I drop this big USB hub for everybody to plug into and power and all that, it would be nice for them just to be able to be portable and have it with them, charge their phones. And they also got some solar panel chargers too. And a radio and all this. This way, if they don't want to listen to Bruce Springsteen for another 4 days, they can they can just kind of plug their beats into this thing and keep cranking and listening to whatever station they want. That's about it.
Oh, my goodness.
Or at least keep their phones charged to keep streaming whatever they're doing. And so, so I got them those. Plus, it's a flashlight, it's the radio, it's a cell phone charger, and all that. Now, if you've ever been through a week of camp, listening to three kids constantly cranking their radios to keep their phones charged, I should have bought them a drum kit each and a slide whistle. So,
I have a slide whistle. I do. I have one. It's awesome. It's
nice.
An old metal one, and it's perfect condition, placed perfectly.
Cool.
Yeah.
So, or the kazoo. But back to kind of what the main point of this episode is, because we got 15 minutes till the next break, is, the being barefoot. Maybe you're starting to live the barefoot lifestyle. Maybe you've lived the barefoot lifestyle for quite a while now. Both you and I, Sophie, are seasoned barefooters. And I find, and this is just my observation, I do go into a lot of stores that I've probably never ventured into, especially with three younger kids that I shop for. And their taste and flavor and what they want is always changing throughout the years as they grow up. So you used to venture into toy stores. Then now you venture into, model and game shops. And then you venture into certain places that I normally don't go all the time. And I found that during the holiday season, first of all, in retail, to understand it, the business is very busy and chaotic. They're writing as many sales as possible, and you don't really have the sales force or the associates in the store that have a great deal of time to pay attention to a lot of small detail. The store is pretty much staged and set. Product is restocked. That's where it's supposed to be from about a week or two before the Black Friday thing, and a lot of stuff is being done before. Even a store where it's, they would normally get inventory for you, its stuff is bulk stacked out there on the floor, the stuff that's normally for sale and stuff like that. There's a whole different sales model that happens depending on the season and the product demand that the customers are coming in for. And it also has to do with a lot of advertisements. So if you are not familiar with a particular type of retail store or a store that you've never been to before, this is really the season to explore and get and help build up your comfort zone, or the I don't want to say this, the confidence of going into stores that you normally have never gone into barefoot, because I guarantee you no one is going to care whether you are barefoot or not. They are not looking at feet. They don't care who's wearing what. I could imagine that there's a lack of someone wearing everything. They would probably blink a little bit, but then as long as you're just carrying something out and you paid for it, you're probably on the way out the door. Now, I'm not encouraging that, but you never know. Really, it is too busy, and when a cashier is stacked 12 deep and every register is open and every department is complete chaos with people buying merchandise, and they have to sell as much merchandise as possible, these are really the numbers that you'll hear on the news a lot. So-and-so made such and such, million or billions or something dollars just this Black Friday alone. Cyber Monday generated XYZ. These are the figures that really do set the pace for the next year. And you'll be amazed if you've never been to someplace. I would just walk around the mall, in and out of stores, if you've never been to a mall before. Go to a busy shopping area of your town or in your local town. Drive into the city. Go into stores you never thought of going into. And first of all, you automatically fit in because you're not a regular customer. People may know you at the deli counter. People may know you in your day-to-day shopping that you do at the dollar store, at the local food store in the produce section. Maybe this department manager maybe knows you. Maybe that clothing store knows you. Maybe the outdoor shop knows you. Maybe this store knows you. The person at the gas station knows you. That's what you do almost every day or weekly or monthly, and they just know who you are. This is a completely different time of year.
Yeah.
And you can really walk around and come out of that barefoot closet if you so desire and explore new stores, whether you have any intention of buying anything there or not, because they don't know what your shopping or spending habits are.
Right.
They don't know whether you're a regular customer or not. Explore. Have fun with it.
Mm-hmm. And this is a really good time of year to do that.
Yeah.
The holiday shopping season is really interesting because things can go different ways depending on where you go and how you look at it. The way that I look at it is that the big retailers and the chain stores are all going to get the business anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that this is a special time of year where going to family-owned businesses and shops is a different option. You know, sometimes I'll go to just, you know, my go-to store. But holiday shopping season, I mean, if you really look at it, people drop a lot of money in stores on holiday gifts and just holiday shopping in general. It's not all on gifts.
Yeah.
It's, you know, everything else that comes with it, you know, and holiday meals and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're spending this money anyway, one thing that I like to do is I like to go into the smaller little boutiques and family-owned businesses and individual privately owned businesses.
Oh, me too.
Because they are struggling to stay open.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? They are going to go out of their way to make you want to shop there, to make your experience pleasant.
Yep.
Okay? And they depend on every dollar that walks through that door to pay their bills.
They
don't
depend
have
on a lot of the
big
major
corporation backing them up.
Exactly.
Financially.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think it is a good time to get out there, spread the word, and educate. Because I can just imagine strolling downtown and everybody out shopping and all the Christmas lights and Christmas music and everything. And I see all these stores busy except for one store, one small little craft store. So I walk in the craft store, right? And, you know, I just want to look around. Now, is this person, how is this person going to treat me because I'm not wearing shoes?
They're going to probably treat you
Are
like
they going to
royalty.
ask me to leave? Or are they going to be nice and help me pick out some really neat, unique items that nobody else is going to have?
True.
Are they going to take my money or not?
Yeah.
Is the bottom line.
Mm-hmm.
Are they going to really throw me out even though I have been their only customer in an hour and everybody else is really busy and making all this money?
Very good point.
Exactly. So I'm walking in there. I'm getting treated well. I'm getting things that are really special and unique, and nobody else is going to get one just like it. And I'm supporting a small business. I'm supporting a family. I'm not supporting a corporation or a CEO.
Yeah. Yeah, and I love my first destination point for anything on a list is the mom and pop business, the family owned, the individually owned, whatever it is, the one shop, and I don't mind spending even a little extra for it because I'd rather support that local person and not that big corporate, you know, mentality. We'll just leave it there. You know, there's some things that obviously some of the smaller merchants or businesses may not be able to get that only some of the larger chains have the buying power to get. Like if you want the hottest new game system or you want, you know, the hottest new video game for that system or something like that, that's probably going to be one of those big box stores because They're the only ones that probably even had 5 in stock. And the little guy was totally cut out of the distribution loop on it because they didn't have a buying commitment that they put in. And you're kind of cornered to bring the holiday cheer to someone that really wants that system at top dollar. And you just can't wait until after the holidays when it finally levels out and there's more available, based on the demand and supply and all this. But yeah, I always prefer to support the smaller business. And if they were like what you were saying, I mean, yeah, they're going to treat you like royalty. You may be the only customer there for the past hour. But if they treat you bad, you can straight up look at them and say, now I know why. And the way some of these smaller shops are positioned are if you go to like a strip mall or something, yeah, you'll have large strip malls where there's a bunch of huge stores. Anchor stores is what they're called. And those stores come in and they provide a lot of traffic for the smaller businesses that are in there. So if you go into a strip mall and there's we'll say a Walmart on one end and we'll say an Office Max on the other. In between, there may be that little Hallmark store. That's a franchise. But there'll also be some smaller little shops and stores in there in between. And those are the ones that I prefer. Those little businesses depend heavily on the traffic that comes from that big box retailer to survive and draw a lot of business. And that music means that we are at the bottom of the hour. Actually, top of the hour. I'm sorry. The clock was upside down. We're at the top of the hour. So we are going to turn things around now and fix that clock on the wall. Now, that's what these sponsors are for, to make sure that clock stays right side up. So we got to pay the bills to get our clock guy in here and fix that. You're listening to Barefoot United. We'll be right back. When a disaster happens, are you ready? Do you have the supplies you need to keep you and your family safe and survive? The Zombie Outpost store in Wilmington, Ohio, at Cedar Creek Flea Market stocks quality gear you need to be ready for the next emergency or even a camping trip. Visit ZombieOutpostStore.com for location and hours. Check out our assortment of essentials you need when the next disaster happens. Go to ZombieOutpostStore.com. Get 10% off at checkout when you mention Barefoot United Radio. Be ready and be prepared.
In this digital society, making connections is quickly becoming a lost art form. Yet, if you are a small business owner, building your network is the only way you can get ahead. Can these skills be learned? You bet they can. Read Nose to Nose Networking. No-nonsense, in-person networking tips from a master. Who's the master? Well, who better to teach networking and friend-building skills than a golden retriever? The author, Melanie Hope, takes the antics of Abigail and translates them into the human experience. Through Abby, you will learn how to set your intention, build a network, and get into and out of conversations with grace. If you love the Dog Abby segments on Counterculture-Wise Radio, you will love Nose to Nose Networking even more. Find it on Amazon and Barnes & Noble in hard copy, Kindle, and Nook. Visit counterculturewise.com for direct links.
We have so much inflammation in the body, and it comes out in illnesses. We go to a doctor with all these complaints, but a lot of it is silent inflammation. So how do we reduce inflammation? In simple terms, grounding is literally putting your bare feet on the ground. When you do that, you're in contact with the earth, and Mother Earth is endowed with electrons. And these electrons are literally absorbed through your feet. It's like taking handfuls of antioxidants.
You could take anybody who has chronic pain. It doesn't matter who they are. It doesn't matter what's wrong. And ground them, and you're going to have a significant reduction in pain.
If you can impact inflammation and, squelch it, kill it, stop it, we're going to be healthier beings.
The information is provided for general informational purposes only. The contents are not intended or implied to be a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Ground Therapy Incorporated makes no representations about the efficiency, appropriateness, or suitability of any specific tests, procedures, treatments, services, opinions, healthcare providers, or other information that may be contained in or available through the information provided.
Greetings and salutations, Counterculture-Wise listeners. This is Maximilian von Riegelbeezer inviting you and yours to listen to me and mine. Join me, my sisters Abby and Fritzy, and my weekly guests, my father Jim and Mumsy Melanie, for Counterculture-Wise.
Max, it's not your show.
And we're not your guests, Max. We're the hosts. You may want to rein it in a little bit, buddy.
Very well. Tune in every Sunday at 6 p.m. Pacific at counterculturewise.com for our amazing live variety show. You can even chat with us. If you ask me, though, it should be called Counterculture Max.
Counterculture Wise. Radio with heart in mind.
You never know when an emergency is going to happen. Whether stuck on the road, riding out a power outage, escaping a natural disaster, or surviving a doomsday apocalypse, what would you do? Disaster can strike at any time. Join hosts Nick Pierce and Sophie Prince for NP Media's exclusive prepping and survival program, Are You Ready? Fridays, 8 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. Listen to Are You Ready? And be prepared.
Got a spare tire around that waist? Is your muffin top over the top? Do you binge eat uncontrollably? We are the government and we are here to help you. Here at our free FEMA weight loss camp, we have numerous ways to help you shed those unsightly, unwanted pounds. FEMA, or Fatties Eating Mitigated, automatically has a communist-style weight loss czar that specializes in centralized weight loss planning and communal extended fasting programs to shed that fat away in no time. Skin and boned means extra toned is the motto. Just remember, there is no way you can do it on your own. We will forcefully assist you into compliance. Failure is not an option in this utopian wonderland. How fantastic. Typical workout regimes include digging ditches and restocking them with dirt, building railways and more. Get life skills while you get lean. How do you join? Simple. Recite the Constitution in a public commons, or violate the Patriot Act that includes simple misdemeanors. It's really that easy to get your own fenced-in slice of Americana. Stop being a fatty. The state is your daddy.
Your beauty took my breath away in all day. Your company was so relaxing, easygoing ways. We saw the first signs of summer and springtime change. Walking barefoot along the sand, I hadn't planned to stay. Yeah, we've been walking barefoot all summer. It'll be sad, my friend, to see you come to an end. Why can't we just quit?
And we're back. You're listening to Barefoot United. Here on this wonderful Friday evening, we're talking about just exploring places to shop. Make sure you check us out on social media. We'll drop the links in our chat room again, but we'll tell them to you. For those that of you that are not in our chat room, we'll tell them to you right now. Just go to barefootunited.org is our main website. You can get to all of our social media links there. You can also find us on Facebook. Just go to Barefoot United, the home of the radio show, Barefoot United Radio. Also on Instagram, Barefoot United. Twitter, Barefoot United. And don't forget, you can check out your hosts, too. Stalk us if you'd like. On Facebook, Survival with Sophie Prince. And also, all my stuff is Nick Pierce Official, both on Facebook and Instagram. And if you tweet, you can, send a blank page at BF Nick Pierce, as in Barefoot Nick Pierce, on Twitter. So, very excited about some of the other content that we have on the network here. Don't forget to check out other shows that you probably heard running. Are You Ready? That you heard before. This was Sophie and I. We're here every Friday before this program. starting at 7 p.m. Eastern. 7, that'd be 5? No, 4? No, 8 p.m. Eastern, which would be 5 Pacific. Anyway, we are talking about going shopping for the holidays, and welcome back, everyone. And Sophie, got you live, and let's see. So, what else did you want to add before we move on to our next segment here about the whole shopping stuff?
Nothing. Just get out there and enjoy the shopping. It's really easy.
It really is. And you'll be amazed.
It's a lot. I think it's a lot easier when it gets cold out.
And, you know, that's a very interesting thing you just brought up now when it comes to the drop in temperatures in most areas of the country. And, yes, even Floridians think that anything that goes below 70 is winter for them. But let's see. This was the first week. Fall came and gone in our area, both for you and I probably. It was fall for maybe 3 or 4 days. Yeah. And then it turned into, like, extreme winter. It was the frozen tundra. And it's that first initial shock of just toes in the snow. It's just like, here we go again. It's like I walked out the door and it was at night. And I'm like, oh, this is going to suck. And then I'm like, actually, I forgot how cool this really feels. No pun intended. But it does feel cool, not in a temperature way. It felt freezing. But then all of a sudden it's like, here we are. It's happening. And I saw you had some cool posts up there about that.
Oh, yeah, snow footing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
it was pretty cold, though. Like, warm snow is really easy to handle, but it was only 22 degrees Fahrenheit, so that's not cold, but it's below the freezing point. And with the wind chill that day, it was 3 above Fahrenheit.
Oh, okay.
So, yes, I'm not going to lie, it was cold.
It's cold. But, yeah. And we
I
also
had to pay attention to my body.
Longtime friend of the movement, the culture, the community, Nick Deutschman in Minnesota. Every time it gets cold like this, I said, he's probably been dealing with this since August. So, but yeah. So, for someone from a more temperate climate, such as, anything south of, I guess, that Michigan, Minnesota, south of Chicago line, that would definitely be a little cold for them.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. But yes, 'tis the season. Go out and go places that journey into places you've never gone before.
Yeah.
And enjoy it. Build up your confidence. And you'll be amazed. Do that once a week maybe from now until Christmas or whatever. And just adjust, get used to it. Build your confidence that way.
Mm-hmm.
So, well, anyway, it is time for, let's see, what do we got? Shoes in the News. We'll go ahead and spin this one off. The Shoes in the News is a segment that we do because you always hear about someone if they're barefoot committing a crime or engaged in something they're not supposed to be engaged in. The media is so fast to report that, this person was barefoot when they did XYZ. So here we go. Our intro now. Welcome to a special edition of Shoes in the News. All right, so here we go. San Francisco Transit Police came under fire after handcuffing a shod man for eating a sandwich on the train platform. So, here you go. In a city where you can take a dump on the streets in public, it seems like you cannot eat a sandwich even if you're wearing shoes. Can't imagine what would happen to this guy if he was barefoot. So, Foster was the guy's last name. He was approached by police officers on November 4th, and what happened then was it was all captured on video shot by his girlfriend. She was also wearing shoes. So Foster was sitting there in shoes, and the officer supposedly he claims that they passed by several other people who were also eating before coming up to him. Police are investigating the matter according to the news reports and will analyze video posted on social media. Now, folks, you may have seen this video on social media of this shot man that committed, I guess, the most heinous crime in San Francisco because he probably didn't have his pants down around his ankles taking a dump on the street, but he was just eating the sandwich. Folks, how are you going to take a dump on the streets if you don't eat the sandwich first? But anyway, after the video went viral, Bart tweeted, I guess, which is the police department, whatever, something. No, that's Bart. Bart is the abbreviation for the transit system. I'm sorry. Whatever it is, something transit. Tweeted that Foster wasn't arrested, but it was unlawfully handcuffed after refusing to provide his name for a citation. Well, okay, we get that part. But still, that's just ridiculous. Now, could you imagine if he was barefoot? It would probably have been a lot worse. And you know what? If he was barefoot, I bet no one would have really cared about the story. That just goes to show how much ground we still have to cover.
They probably wouldn't have even cared about the sandwich. It probably all would have been, man is standing here barefoot.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I'm sure. It's like, wait a minute. He is barefoot. Forget about the sandwich part. He's barefoot. It's like, whoa. Get the paparazzi out. It's like, let's get the pictures. Like, it's like, hey, It's like, it would have been like, oh, well, he had to be detained or something because he was barefoot. They wouldn't even cared about the sandwich. That's how big of a deal people make over it. Just because they see a toe or something. But yet, flip-flops are a different story. But yeah, you're right. If he was barefoot, they probably would not have even noticed the sandwich. And the sandwich was supposedly what's against the law.
I know, right?
Insane world we live in.
It is.
You got one?
Yes, the insanity continues. This is a story from Florida. A woman was pulled over, a shod woman was pulled over for having a man in a dog cage in the back of the truck. Yeah.
I saw that.
A Florida woman was practicing either misguided passenger safety methods or some extremely public dom-sub sexual humiliation play. She was pulled over in Polk County, Florida, because a Florida man locked in a dog cage was in the bed of the Ford F-150 pickup truck that she was driving. What was going on here? because putting the man in the back of the dog cage, in the back of the giant pickup truck, is 100% the Florida redneck version of a man being walked on a leash. Nothing screams, treat me like a dog, to that region, like being questionably secured and endangered in the back of a speeding pickup truck.
God. This is nuts. That is great. Now, it makes me wonder, the picture that I saw of the story, it looked like the guy was naked.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering, first of all, technically, if he was, none of his private parts were exposed to the public. Since he didn't have a shirt on, maybe he did have something on his, maybe like a pair of shorts or pants. Was he barefoot? Is there a law against riding in the back of a pickup truck in Florida? Because I know in Ohio you can. Pennsylvania, I believe you can. There's other states that it's okay. I think as long as it's not on an interstate. But I don't know. I mean, it
was on a county road.
Okay.
And in the area where they were at, it's certainly not legal to parade a man around the county's roads while he's fully erect, moaning and howling and showing everything off to the whole area.
Oh, okay. Well, if he was showing everything off to the whole area, that's a different story. But, it's funny because if you've ever seen certain other stories like this, it's like someone, yes, will be running around exposing themselves, but they have shoes on, and that was just kind of very odd. It's like, just go all in
I know,
at that point.
Right?
At that point, what difference does it make? unless the sock is a backup. But, yeah, that's an interesting one. Oh, boy. Jonesboro Shadman was accused of touching 2 9 and 11-year-old girls. This is how sick people, some people that wear shoes are. So a Jonesboro man is facing a second-degree sexual assault charge stemming from an incident that happened in August, according to KTV, content partner, KAIT 8, whatever, down in Arkansas somewhere, I guess. Let's see. So my screen just scrolled somewhere. A Shad, John Paul Grieve, 50, is accused of touching some children, some girls, and all that. The girls told investigators that Grieve, who was wearing shoes at the time, would have them sleep with him in his bed. Where they say touch them inappropriately. Folks, you never hear disgusting things like this from people that walk around barefoot. So, kind of brings me to a point here where, why are they always picking on people that are barefoot when people in shoes are committing these crimes? So, I think if they are apprehended with shoes on, they should be shoved up certain areas. And this way, they really can't do stuff like this to people anymore. Anyway, he's in jail on a $10,000 bond.
Terrible.
Disgusting.
Oh.
It's the shod ones you got to watch out for, not the barefoot ones. Got another one for us?
Oh, yeah. I sure do. Drunk Santa was arrested after police found him in a car.
'Tis the
he
season,
said he
folks.
Was drunk.
There's always one.
Yeah, 'tis the season. There's always every town has to have a drunk Santa.
Yep.
He said he was drunk and made some poor choices. This was in California. Christmas came early for one California man dubbed the drunk Santa suit criminal, and he is most definitely on local law enforcement's naughty list. Bree police arrested the festive and apparently impatient man Tuesday after they found him inside his car around 7 a.m. The man, who has not been identified by authorities, appeared to be under the influence
Santa's
of
not identifying?
Santa, I know. They're keeping his identity a
wait a
secret.
minute. Well, who could it be?
They don't want to be on the naughty list.
Let's see. I can't imagine who it could be. Could it be, Santa? Isn't that special? It's Santa Claus.
But whoever he was, he appeared to be under the influence of alcohol or drugs or both, police said. Police took to social media to share a message from the drunk Santa suit criminal. Dear Santa, the letter began. I'm sorry I stole your red suit. I was drunk and made some poor choices. I know now it's only October and it's hot. Too hot for this suit, but I was drunk. Poor choices. It was signed, sincerely, drunk Santa suit criminal. It was not immediately clear if any potential repercussions would include a lump of coal.
Quick thinking on their part, because the kids would be very mad at the police if they arrested Santa. Because then I'm sure there was an outcry from kids saying, let Santa go.
Yes.
Because they wouldn't get presents this holiday. So I could totally see. I think that was a good move on the PD end. PD, PR, PD, and yeah. Mm-hmm. It's like, yes, Captain, you want to talk to us? Yeah. You two brought in Santa Claus last night? Yeah. Well, there's a bunch of crying babies that we have in a holding cell. We don't know what to do with them because they're afraid to get presents, and they've been protesting outside. We'll get this over to PR right away, Captain. Yeah, please do. Fix this mess. In a day of social media, it may be best to take the Santa Claus suit off before you put him in the handcuffs and put him in the back of the car and do the perp walk into the station. Yeah. So, oh boy. Well, quick thinking on their end.
It just, I can't believe all this insanity and craziness going on, and it's all just all these people in their shoes.
I know. Tell me about it.
It's a travesty.
Now, here's a shod teacher who was fired after beating a student up. This went viral. Of course, I noticed the trend here. Things have to go viral for anything to happen. So I think we have a couple tweaks to do in the Barefoot United social media arena, and especially among the other groups that are out there. I mean, like such as Real Men Go Barefoot, the Barefoot Collective, Barefoot Alliance, Bare Feet Are Legal, Barefoot United. There's a lot of them out there, folks. I think there's some social media tweaks that need to happen here on this forum, because it seems like things happen when things go viral, and that's where you get some of the best results, it seems. For example, I guess, they thought on their feet and decided to just make it sound like someone stole Santa Claus's suit. But nonetheless, here's a substitute teacher wearing shoes that was fired after a student beating goes viral. So on November 11th this week, in Texas, a substitute teacher has been fired and charged with aggravated assault following the beating of a 15-year-old female high school student in an incident captured on video. Of course it was captured on video. So here's what this shod Tiffany Langford did. So Tiffany Langford was wearing shoes and is free on $10,000 bond after her arrest Friday afternoon. If convicted of second-degree felony, shod Tiffany could be sentenced to 2 to 20 years in prison. That's very vague. 2 to 20 years. For beating a 15-year-old student. Now, the video of the incident, for some reason, is in a foreign language. Oh, a foreign language class. Okay, so it was a foreign language class in a school in Texas. I'm like, who moved the wall? Okay, so it's about 20 miles 20 miles south of Austin is where the school is located. So court records list no attorney for the 32-year-old shod woman, and her telephone number is not published. Like we were going to call her. I mean, like, who puts that in an article? Anyway, however, it's sad. The student class the students in class were being loud, and the situation escalated when the shod teacher cursed at them and said, an attorney for one of the families, the girl told the teacher not to talk to her that way, he asked. Or he said, so I guess the attorney's saying this. So one video shows the teacher striking the student several times on her head before she stomped on the girl's head in her shoes.
Oh, my goodness.
So this is kind of like a deadly weapon? Charges should be brought up against him?
Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, if there was a spiky heel or something like that on the shoes or a point on them or something. So, very sad. The teen is being treated for severe injuries due to this substitute teacher that was wearing shoes. Supposedly, this is unacceptable to say the least, and we demand justice to the fullest extent of the law to enact the change to... this whole part doesn't make sense. I guess that's what the attorney was saying, but there's something missing in this thing that probably didn't get put in my notes right. Well, anyway... she's only been working for the school district since August 30th. She's worked a total of 18 times substituting as a teacher. And, Oh, she was employed on the 30th. She's started on September 16th. And, of course, that ended Friday. And, yes, very appalling that this person would do such a thing. And it's scary what some people that wear shoes would do to others.
Yeah.
Especially a student like that. Shame on them.
Yes.
What else you got? One more? Because we're coming up to a break soon.
Yeah. You said that it's a shame what people do to others.
Oh, yeah.
Shod people do things to themselves, too. And this guy was caught
clearly, because for that student's safety, the shoes didn't protect him. So
exactly. In Downers Grove, Illinois, a man was caught masturbating in the parking lot of TJ Maxx.
God.
Police said an employee walked through the parking lot and saw the man masturbating in his car. A shod Darien man has been charged with public indecency after being accused of masturbating in his car while it was parked outside of a TJ Maxx store in Downers Grove. Police say a TJ Maxx employee spotted Julian Koss, age 23, of the 7700 block of Florence Avenue with his, in his hand as he sat in the driver's seat of his car. According to police, the employee alerted management, who called the police department. When the police got to the scene, they said that they found him in his car with his pants pulled down almost to his shoes. Police said that no one else was inside the vehicle with him. He was taken to custody and released on bond. He is set to appear in court again on December 26th, the day after Christmas.
Well, happy holidays to that sicko.
Yes.
And we hope that the rest of the sickos out there enjoy a hellish holiday. And shame on you, you shod criminals out there, for being such sickos and all that. Keep your shoes on so that we know who you are. Yep. And isn't it a good thing that the barefoot community doesn't do things like that? Well, that's been Shoes in the News. And, of course, that also means that we have to pay the bills to keep bringing you Shoes in the News. So, we'll be right back. You're listening to Barefoot United with Nick and Sophie. BarefootUnited.org. Stick around. Another half hour coming at you. Great content. Soul searching. How do we handle them? Don't beg for shoes. And, of course, you never know what else. When a disaster happens, are you ready? Do you have the supplies you need to keep you and your family safe and survive? The Zombie Outpost store in Wilmington, Ohio, at Cedar Creek Flea Market, stocks quality gear you need to be ready for the next emergency or even a camping trip. Visit ZombieOutpostStore.com for location and hours. Check out our assortment of essentials you need when the next disaster happens. Go to ZombieOutpostStore.com. Get 10% off at checkout when you mention Barefoot United Radio. Be ready and be prepared.
In this digital society, making connections is quickly becoming a lost art form. Yet, if you are a small business owner, building your network is the only way you can get ahead. Can these skills be learned? You bet they can. Read Nose to Nose Networking. No-nonsense, in-person networking tips from a master. Who's the master? Well, who better to teach networking and friend-building skills than a golden retriever? The author, Melanie Hope, takes the antics of Abigail and translates them into the human experience. Through Abby, you will learn how to set your intention, build a network, and get into and out of conversations with grace. If you love the Dog Abby segments on Counterculture-Wise Radio, you will love Nose to Nose Networking even more. Find it on Amazon and Barnes & Noble in hard copy, Kindle, and Nook. Visit counterculturewise.com for direct links.
We have so much inflammation in the body, and it comes out in illnesses. We go to a doctor with all these complaints, but a lot of it is silent inflammation. So how do we reduce inflammation? In simple terms, grounding is literally putting your bare feet on the ground. When you do that, you're in contact with the earth, and Mother Earth is endowed with electrons. And these electrons are literally absorbed through your feet. It's like taking handfuls of antioxidants.
You could take anybody who has chronic pain. It doesn't matter who they are. It doesn't matter what's wrong. And ground them, and you're going to have a significant reduction in pain.
If you can impact inflammation and, squelch it, kill it, stop it, we're going to be healthier beings.
The information is provided for general informational purposes only. The contents are not intended or implied to be a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Ground Therapy Incorporated makes no representations about the efficiency, appropriateness, or suitability of any specific tests, procedures, treatments, services, opinions, healthcare providers, or other information that may be contained in or available through the information provided.
Hey, how you doing? This is Magic Pierce inviting you and yours to listen to some good friends of mine that have a show too. Did you really think my daddy is the only one that just runs his mouth all the time and that's the only thing I listen to? No, it's not. I got a show I listen to on Sundays. Join host Max and his co-host, my hottie Fritzy, and of course my good friend Abby on Counterculture-wise, Sundays at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 Eastern. They have their own human guests, Melanie and Jim, each week. They don't meow a lot, but you get what they're saying. Now let me tell you, you have to go to counterculturewise.com. Use your paws to play with the mouse and scroll down to the on-the-air button on the right to hear their show. Just click on that. After that, watch them on Periscope like I do. Daddy gives me a little mouse to play with, and I get farts the whole time. It's a great show. Check it out. counterculturewise.com. If you don't tune in, I get cuckoos on you.
Thank you so much for that ringing endorsement, Magic. It warms the orange hearts of me and Abby and the gray heart of Fritzy to hear you say such amazing things about our show. I'm pretty sure that Mumsy and Father have pink hearts, so we will assume their hearts are warmed too.
Forget about it. I got you guys. Good peoples.
You never know when an emergency is going to happen. Whether stuck on the road, riding out a power outage, escaping a natural disaster, or surviving a doomsday apocalypse, what would you do? Disaster can strike at any time. Join hosts Nick Pierce and Sophie Prince for NP Media's exclusive prepping and survival program, Are You Ready? Fridays, 8 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. Listen to Are You Ready? And be prepared.
Got a spare tire around that waist? Is your muffin top over the top? Do you binge eat uncontrollably? We are the government and we are here to help you. Here at our free FEMA weight loss camp, we have numerous ways to help you shed those unsightly, unwanted pounds. FEMA, or Fatties Eating Mitigated, automatically has a communist-style weight loss czar that specializes in centralized weight loss planning and communal extended fasting programs to shed that fat away in no time. Skin and boned means extra toned is the motto. Just remember, there is no way you can do it on your own. We will forcefully assist you into compliance. Failure is not an option in this utopian wonderland. How fantastic. Typical workout regimes include digging ditches and restocking them with dirt, building railways and more. Get life skills while you get lean. How do you join? Simple. Recite the Constitution in a public commons or violate the Patriot Act that includes simple misdemeanors. It's really that easy to get your own fenced-in slice of Americana. Stop being a fatty. The state is your daddy.
No shoes, no shirt, no problem. sad than a drink in my hand with no bottle, no shoes, no shirt, no problem. Babe, let's get past tank tops and flip-flops if you got 'em. No shoes, no shirt, no problem.
That's right, folks. That's right, folks. Never a problem here. No shirt, no shoes, no problem at all. We're always here to give you service, the service of what we offer every Friday evening here on Barefoot United. And don't forget to check out a lot of the other shows that you can hear through NP Media Group. Not just this show, but Are You Ready? Emergency Preparedness and Survival, hosted by Sophie and I. And there's another great program that is one of our partners, Counterculture-wise. And during the break, I was looking through the little care package that they just recently sent to the studio. And it has a nice little note in here, and it was addressed to Magic and I from his friends. If you heard that new commercial that airs during the commercial break, it has Magic did the commercial for them on that second commercial break. And Maximilian von Regelbieser, of course, Fritzy and dog Abby, and his weekly guests, Mumsy Melanie and Daddy Jim, as Maximilian calls them. They have their show Counterculture-Wise, which is heard on Sunday nights, so make sure you go over to counterculturewise.com and listen to them in the evening. And they sent an awesome little care package, a bunch of stickers. Truly great friends of the show. Counterculture-Wise, as they call it, radio with heart in mind. Now, Melanie is an amazing author. She has a bunch of books out, and we like to endorse and sponsor them on the show. Team Fritzy is Magic has the hots for Fritzy. Magic just seems to be so in love with Fritzy. It's his little hottie. So Fritzy sent a sticker with her face on it that Magic wants to hang by his food bowl with a stack of kitty porn. Now, Magic does have kitty porn by his food bowl. It's his Fancy Feast kitty. And he just recently took down a picture of one of his Fancy Feast kitties and was playing with the sticker when I walked by. So I am like, okay, apparently Magic is going to replace Fritzy's sticker, or replace one of his Fancy Feast kitty pictures that we clip out from coupons and magazines and stuff, and replace it with Fritzy. So Fritzy, you've become part of Magic's kitty porn wall. To each their own. But a nice little note and everything like that. Came in a nice little care package. Enjoy. And hi, Magic. I hope you like my sister, my sister's sticker. I hope you like my sister sticker. I'm sorry. XOXO love Fritzy. And of course, a couple things here from Jim for being awesome and supporting the show and all this. And that's what we like to do. We not only support the barefoot lifestyle, but we also support others that speak and, help the show out. So thank you guys for that package. Thanks for being awesome friend and sound dude. You rock, Melanie. So, and we're glad to have them as kind of one of our sister or brother programs. And you can also find some information and all their links on nickpiercemedia.com. And also through barefootunited.org. You can follow it all the way to Nick Pierce Media and get to their stuff. But just go to counterculturewise.com and check them out on Sunday evenings. So just wanted to give them a little shout out. Truly amazing people. Met them when we were out in Vegas. And just the most gracious hosts you will ever meet. And such really great people. Moving on with the show, because we are starting to run out of time. We have, let's see, should we throw the clip out there of how we handle them that we missed last week? Because I know once we start talking, we're going to totally bypass it again this week.
Yes.
Okay.
I think we should play it.
All right. So here we go. How do we handle them? The barefooters' perspective of what goes through their mind when they are encountered And that annoying voice that just goes up their spine when they hear someone say, "Excuse me." Oh, yeah, no, go ahead, you got to do that again. We got to hear that. So,
Excuse me.
Excuse me.
Excuse me.
But you need to wear shoes. And it's just like, here we go. So we call this one, Don't Beg for Shoes.
And now it's time to play. How do we handle them?
Excuse me. Do you have any shoes?
What? Well, that's a silly question. Do you have any manners? Let me ask you this. Do you always ask customer for things when they walk into your restaurant? Is your manager here?
I am the manager.
They need to pay you more, so you do not have to beg customers for things. I know times could be tough, and if you sold shoes, I would buy you a pair if you need them. I'm ready to order. I think I'll have the veal saltimbocca with a side of penne and a glass of your finest plunger fathead Marlot.
I'm sorry. I was sending a server over to take your order. You enjoy the meal.
And there you have it. That sound of excuse me that just goes up your spine. Can't handle it. Well, this is the broadcast the week before Thanksgiving. And we want to bring you a new version. Well, this is not 2.0 yet. Next week, we're going to be airing 2.0 of this song. Now, this song has been around for a while. When I first started doing this broadcast many years ago, before a previous group that I even did it for, this song was created. It finally made it onto YouTube a couple years ago. And this is my version of the Barefoot United or Bare Feet Are Legal, whatever you want to call it, the Barefoot M-Time Massacre movement song. So, thanks everybody for sticking around. Now, we also have Soul Searching coming up after this. Now, this is a song about going barefoot. Well, actually, this is a song about living a barefoot lifestyle. I don't really have a name for this song, but most of you may think it's about a restaurant. Well, I'll call it my Thanksgiving weekend Bare Feet Are Legal song that I put together for you. That's really all it really is. But if you like this song, you can always like Facebook too and all the other stuff that goes on in the world. But I figure since we had some time together, I'd like to give you a little taste of it. And it kind of goes something like this. You can barefoot anywhere you want, 'cause bare feet are legal. You can barefoot anywhere you want, 'cause bare feet are legal. Walk all around, go out and get a snack. Shop at the store, just go for a walk. You can barefoot anywhere you want, 'cause bare feet are legal. Now, it all started quite a while ago, where there was a myth that all started a few decades ago, actually. In fact, back in the late 60s, maybe early 70s, which would actually be many, many Thanksgivings ago, about being illegal to go into places barefoot. See, that was when business owners started putting signs up because they did not want hippies or poor black people in their businesses. So these stores could not hang signs up that said no blacks allowed or anything like that. And they didn't want hippies hanging around either. So they put signs up that said no shoes and no service. Well, we're going to move ahead a few decades because businesses are now not doing that well, sometimes because of those signs, and there are many laws that protect a person's rights to go barefoot for many different reasons. See, some of you listening to this may think that I'm about to tell you that I had a ton of shoes at one point in my life, and they were in a pile, never getting used, and one day I decided to take all the shoes that I had and load them into a truck and get rid of them. But nothing like that ever happened. In fact, I never really liked shoes to begin with. So there's no cool story about me loading up a half a ton of shoes and dumping them off the edge of a cliff because I saw a big pile of shoes at the bottom of it. And instead of dragging a big pile of shoes up a cliff, it would be easier to throw mine down there. But if you ever come across a cliff and you want to get rid of shoes for good, just go and toss them down. Just make sure there's no one under there when you do. Of course, the lawyers required me to say that. And, of course, you don't want to send your shoes to villages in Africa either, because, of course, it's killing the lions. Because you see, what happens is if you're not used to wearing shoes and you're trying to run away from a lion that's about to maul you, you'll fall on the ground because you can't get away, and, well, lions will choke on the shoes, and then all the animal rights activists will get very upset. So I guess that leads me to a point, though. See, shoes seem to be quite dangerous. In fact, there are so many slip and fall and personal injury claims, flip-flops toss dirt off the floor onto the food that you're eating in a restaurant, and car accidents from shoes getting caught in pedals, and deformity too. Not to mention the bacteria, fungus, and all the other nasty stuff that grows in them. See, I guess you could actually consider shoes, in and of themselves, just implements of destruction, and you may not want to wear them. But just go out and have dinner that can't be beat and enjoy the comfort and safety of going barefoot. But you see, there's some people out there that think the opposite. See, this is the time of year people are out doing a lot of shopping with all the holidays coming up. And some of us may be doing a little traveling. Well, I was traveling the other day. Well, just the other day I was out shopping and I walked into a store. Yep, I was barefoot, and no one cared. So I went into many stores, restaurants, and other businesses. throughout most of my life. Never really had much of a problem. Over 20 years walking all over the world barefoot. No shoes, no socks. Nothing, just my feet wandering this vast landscape barefoot. And guess what? No one cares. Most of the time, people rarely don't care if you have shoes on or not. Well, one day I was wandering around doing my thing and enjoying myself. I bought what I need and I went home and put it away. Yeah. You see, that's a typical day. At least for the past 20 plus years of my life. But anyway, the other day I had to make a quick stop in a store to pick something up, and I walked in this store and there was this guy standing there. I was about to walk past him and he stopped me right there and he said, "Kid, do you have shoes?" Well, I looked at him and I said, "No." He said, "Why?" So I began to tell him about all the health benefits and how it was for my own reasons and all about health and safety and all that other stuff. And he stopped me right there and he said, "Well, I don't think you could be barefoot in here." Well, I asked him why, and he rambled on about health department and laws and liability, and he was so whipped up over my feet. He took out his phone and started taking pictures. He was trying to call his manager on his radio, and he was so flustered. He could barely keep his name tag on. He had a vest that was falling off his shoulders, and he just stood there throwing a fit about how he knows about the laws, and his managers were on the way, and so I stood there, quite entertained by his reaction. Well, the manager came over, along with other employees, as if this was the biggest crime of the century. That greeter started telling his manager about what was going on, and he was showing him the 27 color digital photos on his phone. He opened up another app and was making circles and arrows and trying to tell him and explain what each one was and how I was barefoot, and the manager stopped him right there, and then he looked at me. The manager looked right at me and said, "Sir, I'm sorry about this. You enjoy your shopping, and if you need any assistance, please let me know." Well, that door greeter looked at him, looked at the phone, looked back at me, looked at the manager. He looked at all the 27 digital photos that he took on his cell phone, looked back at me and looked at the manager and realized it was a typical example of him not knowing how to treat customers, and he knew that his manager was going to give him a talking to later on. I went along my way and I got what I needed. You see, folks, at times you may feel like you have no support. Just because you don't see others around you that live a barefoot lifestyle doesn't mean that you're alone. You see, BarefootUnited.org is an organization to help you find other groups like Bare Feet Are Legal, where members can interact with each other, support each other, and be empowered. See, Bare Feet Are Legal is more than just a group, though. It's an organization. It's a community. See, at first, some of our new members may come in, and you may thinking that society is, put you in the group W bench until you come join us. But then you'll see. See, we do not just play with pencils and share pictures and poke and like. See, we support a person's right to go barefoot, and we debunk the myths. Members have meetups, And meetups are fun. You go out and you meet other members of the Barefoot community, and when you meet up and you all kick off your shoes and you jump up and down in public and everybody's looking at you, and you throw your shoes in the air and you jump around screaming, I want to be bear, bear, bear. I want to feel dirt on the ground, grass between my toes, bear, 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 and you're all jumping up and down, living the barefoot lifestyle during one of our meetups, screaming bear, bear. Well, okay. Not quite like that, but you get my point. See, we need to stand up for our rights. Debunk the myths. That's why I say, when we stand up for ourselves, and we stand together as a group, stand together as a community, you can actually think about it. You can barefoot anywhere you want, 'cause bare feet are legal. You can barefoot anywhere you want, 'cause bare feet are legal. Walk all around, go out and get a snack. Shop at the store, just go for a walk. You can barefoot anywhere you want, 'cause bare feet are legal. See now, why don't we try this? Kick off your shoes. Why don't we try it this way? Kick off your shoes, and this way you feel it. Kick those shoes off, and the next time the riff comes around the guitar, sing along with me. You ready? Let's try it. You can barefoot anywhere you want, 'cause bare feet are legal. You can barefoot anywhere you want, 'cause bare feet are legal. Walk all around, go out and get a snack. Shop at the store, just go for a walk. You can barefoot anywhere you want, 'cause bare feet are legal. Now, let's try this again. How about this time with some feeling? Ground yourself and sing it like you're standing up for your rights. Sing it like you want to make a change. Sing it like you believe in a cause. Let's try this again. You can barefoot anywhere you want, 'cause bare feet are legal. You can barefoot anywhere you want, 'cause bare feet are legal. Walk all around, go out and get a snack. Shop at the store, just go for a walk. You can barefoot anywhere you want, 'cause bare feet are legal. You can barefoot anywhere you want, 'cause bare feet are legal. You can barefoot anywhere you want, 'cause bare feet are legal. Walk all around, go out and get a snack. Shop at the store, just go for a walk. You can barefoot anywhere you want, 'cause bare feet are legal. I don't know, folks. Come on now. Hold your applause. Yeah. So, throughout that wonderful 14 minutes, we, yeah, that's, quite, entertaining. So I appreciate all the volunteers that stepped forward, to help with the vocal lines on that one. We kind of need it done like soon though, because it's going to be the same part. Whatever I just sang there, feel free to do it. Yeah. I'm not much of a vocal person, as you can tell, and I know you've heard that horrible singing for probably, let's see, since 2011, I think it was. Yeah, it's 2011 when that was first created, and yeah, it's enough to make people snort. Emily, not just snort laughing, but I'm sure that people would feel a lot better listening to my vocals after snorting other things. So, we do not have time for soul searching, but that's okay, because Sophie is taking care of her son, and we are out of time. So, we'll be back next week, special holiday edition, of course, for Thanksgiving weekend. And until next time, everybody, keep them bare.